Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the River's Edge Brass Band, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at Armstrong Chapel. We have a number of special guests that are going to join us throughout the performance, and we're so glad that you could be here to start the holiday season with us. Our first selection was actually not really originally a Christmas tune. It was originally tied to a play that may have been performed on the stage or the steps of the Coventry Cathedral in England that had told the story of King Herod sending his men into Bethlehem at the time of the birth of Christ, where he attempted to slay all the newborn baby boys. And so you'll hear in that minor mode a very, very somber carol that talks about the feelings that mothers of that time might have had. And that rhapsody really took us through a lot of different styles and really presented the carol only at the very end. We hope you enjoyed a Coventry carol. Our next selection is another beautiful carol that's only about 120 miles from Coventry Cathedral in England, Sussex, England. There is a carol, the Sussex Mummers Christmas. It's a beautiful tune. You are going to very much hear some featured parts within the group, and that also speaks of the resurrection of Christ, and we sing to the goodwill of this time of year. And after that, you may not think of Russian movie music as Christmas music, but when you hear the tune after that, the troika is a set of 3 horses pulling a sleigh, and Prokofiev wrote this for a movie, Lieutenant Kiji suite, and his music is phenomenal for that. But the story is kind of a satire on bureaucracy and in the government in Russia. And so gentleman who's in the clerk in the military on paper, he's handwriting before word processors, handwriting a list of all the people in a unit in the regiment, and he makes a mistake. And so Lieutenant Kije appears. He decides, it's a mistake. Rather than handwriting this entire list again, I'm going to leave it. So he passes the paper on, and the emperor finds favor. He says, "Oh, Lieutenant Kiji, he's a good guy," and and so the story of all of his adventures, from heroism to getting married, to being exiled to Serbia, to when the emperor decides he wants to meet Lieutenant Kiji, we got to find a way to kill him. So he has a full funeral. And so this, the troika that we'll play for you actually just comes from a sleigh ride scene where some of his military exploits and his trip to Serbia. And you'll hear that and recognize that, although it's written for a 1930s Russian movie. You can see some of the clips on YouTube if you're interested. Please enjoy the Sussex Mummers Christmas Carol and the troika. Now, by show of hands, how many of you know a member of the band? Okay, so the fact that you know a member of the band, that's phenomenal, and so many of you that don't, we're so glad that you're with us. But the folks sitting up here have many talents. There are folks that have been professional musicians, music teachers, college professors, many that have careers that are outside of the music world, some in banking, some in nursing, some in sales, some in a variety of things. And the next gentleman that we're going to feature, one of the things he does outside of playing his instrument is arranging. And Steve Hook, who plays euphonium for us, was sitting around some years ago thinking about Christmas time. And you might think of figgy pudding when you think of Christmas, right? How many of you know exactly what that is? Or is it kind of like pound cake or you know? Yeah? Yeah? So if you're really making figgy pudding, we're happy to have your recipe, and we'll share that on our website after the concert. It takes a number of weeks to make. You start boiling it, you let it boil, and then you let it cure, and it takes some time. But Steve had some time while that was going on, and he arranged this "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" tune. Steve has a long career as an educator, administrator, and a professional musician, graduating from the University of Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. And you're going to enjoy his arrangement for brass band of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." And then after that, we have a very beautiful piece, the Ave Maria, you know, has been done by so many composers and the story of Mary. But the brass band director from the Ohio Valley British Brass Band in Dayton arranged this piece. It is from an Austrian composer, Franz Babel, who lived between 1906 and 2001. In the 60s, he set to work to arrange the Ave Maria. And it was a multiple choir thing. There's a men's choir and then a mixed choir. And he includes some elements of Gregorian chant, which you'll hear. And you'll hear just a beautiful version of this. Now, we attempt to play the multiple choir parts. We're not going to split up and, you know, go to different parts of the cathedral for today. But we hope that you enjoy Steve Hook's "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," and arranged by Mike Gallahue from the Dayton area, the Ave Maria by Franz Babel. such a beautiful place with it all decorated for Christmas. It's pretty easy for us to catch the Christmas spirit. But the gentleman who wrote the words for this next song wasn't in quite such a place. He had pretty advanced tuberculosis and was in a sanatorium recovering, attempting to recover from tuberculosis. And he saw the scene of snow falling on the lane outside of his window and wrote the words to Winter Wonderland. Was set to music by one of his friends. In fact, he had often written music and submitted it for like jingles and other things like that. Kind of uncertain whether or not he actually heard this in its final version or not when the music and the text came together. But Richard Smith is that person who penned the words to Winter Wonderland. And we are going to bring an arrangement by Phillip Sparke to you for that now. We hope that you are in a better place and not battling, but if you are, we are thinking of you this Christmas season. And welcome back to the stage, Dr. Kevin Holtzman, for A Winter Wonderland. Before we play our final selection of the first half, I'm going to remind you, stick around. We've got some very, very talented folks that are going to join us in the second half. Now, I mentioned the collective talents of folks in this group, and you don't often think of a music composer having other jobs. Well, you might, because they're delivering pizza and, Uber, DoorDash, some of that kind of stuff. But this gentleman, Adam Wainwright, who wrote A Christmas Fantasia, is primarily a graphic designer, but has combined his love of graphic design and music in that he does design for music publications and music graphics. So he also composes, and this next selection includes a number of Christmas tunes he wrote in 2010, a novelette, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, A Great and Mighty Wonder, The Infant King, and Tomorrow Shall Be My Dancing Day, and Of the Father's Heart Begotten. After we finish this, we are going to take a brief intermission, and we will have some fantastic music in the second half. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll wait. Ladies and gentlemen, if you work your way back to your seats, we're going to get started in just a moment. Again, please give us just a moment. We'll introduce our special guest. It is our privilege to have Armstrong Chapel's very own organist and accompanist, Stacy Haney, joining us today. We are going to open our second half with him accompanying this group. The Saint-Saens Organ Symphony, as it's called now, originally was just the third symphony. We are going to play the finale of that. It is featuring an organ. Saint-Saens was a phenomenal organ player. And Stacy is going to do phenomenal work with us. This is, if you've never heard it before, I think you're going to go out. If you're not thinking about a Christmas tune when you walk out of here, this is the one that you're going to be thinking about. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Stacy Haney. We had thought about serving some coffee at intermission, but figured you wouldn't need it once you heard that. Fantastic job, Stacy. Thank you again. Now, the next two pieces, we're gonna keep the energy up a little bit for the first one. The Three Kings Swing is an upbeat arrangement that's powered by our percussion section that you'll recognize, We Three Kings, and it's going to feature Bob Gray soloing on the cornet. And as you think about those things that you might call Christmas traditions, and you look and say, okay, where did they begin? And the arranger for the next piece after this, Phillip Sparke, spent some time thinking about what would be really just original English carols. You know, the Christmas tree is German, you know, Silent Night is Austrian, you know, there's all kinds of Christmas stuff that comes from around the world. And so he spent some time and arranged three beautiful carols in this, including not Ding Dong Merrily High on High, that's French. He included the Sussex Carol, In the Bleak Midwinter, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Once in a Royal David City. If you've not heard the King's College Choir version of that, that's beautiful. You should hear that one before you hit Christmas. I Saw Three Ships, and O Come All Ye Faithful. So please enjoy Three Kings Swing and An English Christmas. While we moved the organ, the Armstrong Chapel Choir is going to join us, and I'm going to say a few thank yous while they're finishing their transition. First of all, this group is incredibly grateful to Armstrong Chapel. We have a long history of playing in this for services, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Christmas time, and Ben Bazone, our tuba player and band president, is the music director here. And we were looking for a place to rehearse shortly after the pandemic had occurred, and Armstrong was grateful enough to open their doors to us. So we rehearse here every Monday night. All the folks you see sitting in front of you are volunteers. We love coming together playing challenging brass music and bringing that to audiences. And we also are very grateful to our director, Dr. Kevin Holtzman. If we really want to kill some time, I can go through his bio. He hates it, but it is phenomenal. He's internationally known as a wind band conductor. He is the director of wind studies at the University College Conservatory of Music, Cincinnati. And we have a group of folks who make this band possible, from librarian to board officers, treasurer, all of those sorts of things. If you're involved in the board of the band, would you stand up at this time to be recognized? And so, in a moment, when we fire up Three Kings Swing, you're going to hear our percussion section. As a brass band, you think, okay, I'm going to hear some brass players. But without the percussion section behind us, we sound not as mighty. And so the three folks back there, Greg, Amy, and Bill, who've been keeping it up with us all evening, they are phenomenal. We give them a huge round of applause, and we'll bring you Three Kings Swing. snuck in some additional musical guests behind me, right? Hopefully you could hear them. In fact, one of the greatest tributes that I think a brass band can play to pay to anyone is to play quieter. And this group is happy to play quieter with such phenomenal musicians behind us. Thank you all. The Armstrong Choir is phenomenal. If you are a regular member here and don't get a chance to go see other churches and their choirs or ensembles, you are very lucky to have a home here at Armstrong with these folks behind us. A number of years ago, we were doing a service or a performance here, and a friend of the band, Brian Berkeley, was playing. I think he was playing E-flat cornet with us, and we were kind of like, we'd love to have another number or something that the audience could participate with. And Brian, in the span of about 2 days, came back and said, "Here, check this out." And he did the next arrangement for a Christmas Carol sing-along. I believe you have words in your program with you. We'd love for you to join the phenomenal musicians behind me in singing, and we're so glad that you joined us. We will have one additional piece after this, and this will be a Christmas Carol sing-along, followed by Leroy Anderson's Sleigh Ride. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for coming to our performance this evening.
Dr. Kevin, it's the Lord. No, just me. Pastor David here at Armstrong Chapel. We wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you again to Dr. Kevin and the River's Edge Brass Band. Will you bless them? Chancel Choir, blessings. Stacy, come on. Thank you, Stacy. Ben, thank you. It's yours.